Welcome to RMU Live. Today is Monday, October 2nd, 2017. I'm Gage Golding.
And I'm Logan Carney. Here's what's happening now.
Our broadcast begins with heavy hearts as a shooting in Las Vegas near Mandalay Bay Casino has killed 58 people and has injured 515 others in one of the deadliest mass shootings in American history. The lone gunman, Stephen Paddock, was on the 32nd floor of a Las Vegas hotel and rained on a large outdoor concert festival on Sunday night. We want to warn you that the following footage we are about to show is graphic. This is the scene last night from the Route 91 Harvest Country Music Festival in Las Vegas, Nevada. 64-year-old Stephen Paddock opened fire from his 32nd floor hotel room at the Mandalay Bay Hotel and Casino around 10 p.m. local time. Country music star Jason Aldean was performing as shots rang out. Following the shooting, Jason Aldean posted this picture to Instagram, asking for prayers for the victims. President Donald Trump also took to social media, tweeting, "My warmest condolences and sympathies to the victims and families of the terrible Las Vegas shooting. God bless you." Authorities in Las Vegas report that dozens of people have been killed and hundreds more have been taken to the hospital. MGM Resorts International, the company that runs Mandalay Bay Resort and Casino, released a statement earlier. Quote, "This evening there was a tragic active shooter situation at the south end of the Las Vegas Strip. Law enforcement and emergency personnel responded quickly to the incident and secured the scene. Law enforcement requested that we put hotels in the vicinity on lockdown to ensure guest safety. We will provide more information as it becomes available." End quote. Officials in Las Vegas report that one of the biggest battles they are facing now in the recovery process is the need of blood and encourage everybody to donate blood. They also encourage anybody looking for a loved one to call their hotline, 1-866-535-5654. Our thoughts and prayers are with the victims and their families, as well as the entire community of Las Vegas.
Today, Robert Morris University is in a state of shock and mourning. On Saturday night, sophomore accounting major Ryan McCutcheon left his family here at Robert Morris following a one-vehicle accident in Kilbuck Township. McCutcheon was a graduate of North Allegheny Senior High School and was a member of RMU-Live in Delta Tau Delta, a fraternity on campus. President of Robert Morris University, Christopher Howard, sent a letter to students via email early Monday morning that informed students of the incident. The president said, quote, "This is a devastating loss to Ryan's friends and family, and I ask that you please keep them in your thoughts and prayers during this difficult time. I will express to Ryan's family that sympathy that all of us at Robert Morris feel at their loss, knowing that nothing can assuage their grief right now. In the meantime, I ask that you join me in mourning this young man whose life was cut short." End quote. Our entire staff here at RMU-TV and RMU Century Media sends their thoughts, prayers, and condolences to Ryan's family, friends, and the entire Delta Tau Delta fraternity. Robert Morris University will be partnering with the Pittsburgh Promise as well as 18 other colleges and universities to provide additional scholarship dollars to graduates of the Pittsburgh Public Schools through the Preferred College Partners Initiative. The Pittsburgh Promise describes their promises as, quote, "We will send all eligible urban youth to college or trade school with a scholarship. We promote the reform of urban schools so that our young people are prepared for successful and meaningful lives. We will invest in our region's workforce by preparing the next generation of workers, and we raised $250 million to get this work done." End quote. RMU is also partnering with Coppers, Inc. to provide leadership development to the corporation's current and future leaders. RMU faculty will teach the Coppers Leadership Forum that will feature RMU grad and the president as well as CEO of Coppers, Inc., Leroy Ball. The program will start in October, and it consists of 4 2.5-day training sessions. The location will switch between Coppers' downtown headquarters and RMU's campus in Moon Township.
A standoff between a man and police halted a North Side community early Sunday morning. Starting at 4:30 a.m., police arrived to serve a warrant on 32-year-old Leonard Goggins. Goggins barricaded himself inside his house located in the 2100 block of Perrysville Avenue. SWAT officers were called to the scene. The standoff finally ended Sunday afternoon after Goggins' grandmother came and convinced him to come off the roof.
The police were called to Canton Township to respond to reports of a man harassing neighbors with a knife. The mother of the suspect was the one who called 911, but she called an ambulance because her son has been acting weird for a while. The police showed up instead. They shouted to drop the knife and put their hands up. After the man refused, the police opened fire. The man died at the spot.
Last week, a young girl was injured after her house was burglarized and she was still inside. Here's more on the story. A child was injured last Wednesday on Hazelwood Drive in Moon Township just before 7 a.m. during a home invasion. Authorities report the child fell from a second-story window after trying to get out of the house with her father. Authorities say a man and his daughter were home at the time that two masked men entered their home on Hazelwood Drive in Moon Township. The girl was injured when her and her father escaped through a window and went to a neighbor's house to call 911. According to authorities, the father was too scared to open the door in fear that it might be booby-trapped, so the father climbed out of a second-story window where the daughter fell to the ground and broke her leg. Moon Township Chief of Police Leo McCarthy released a statement saying, "We're going to work as hard as we can to process any and all forensic evidence, to talk to every possible person, to review all the area videos, to do anything we possibly can to track these guys down." Authorities report they have found two cell phones that were taken from the residence and they will be checked for fingerprints and other DNA. The phones were pinged and metal detectors were used to locate them. One was found on Interstate 376 and the other near Ewing Road Exchange. Authorities here at Moon Township Police did place a reverse 911 call to neighbors in the area looking for information. Anybody with a lead is encouraged to contact 911 or Moon Township Police directly. Reporting from the Moon Township Police headquarters here in Moon Township, Gage Golding, RMU Century Media. Scary stuff there, Logan, huh? I mean, hopefully they catch these guys.
Yes, hopefully they do, and hopefully they catch another person, because police are in Squirrel Hill searching for a man wanted for multiple charges, including burglary and simple assault. The suspect's name is Bruce Bergstein. He is wanted for burglary, simple assault, theft, and receiving stolen property that is in connection with an incident in Oakland that happened later this month. Police ask anyone with information that could lead to Bergstein's arrest to call 412-323-7800 and ask for the burglary squad.
PennDOT confirmed Friday that a multi-year construction project on Route 65 is finally coming to an end. The $20.2 million project began in April of 2016, weighed a burden on commuters for almost 2 years. The project mainly consisted of repaving and resurfacing highly trafficked areas along Route 65.
Hundreds of people joined in the search for a missing 31-year-old Leah Marie Owens on Sunday. The woman has been missing since September 27th. More than 300 people assisted and around 400 personnel were on the site. Anyone with information regarding Leah Marie Owens should contact the state police in Uniontown. A public source investigation showed that a no-bid $1.5 million police body camera contract with Axon Enterprise was ushered to city officials by a police officer who has financial ties to the company. This has led to Pittsburgh Mayor Bill Peduto and other city officials to call for policy changes. For more updates on the rec center and coverage around the Pittsburgh area and Robert Morris University, be sure to visit RMU-CenturyMedia.com.
Coming up on RMU-Live, tensions between Trump and North Korea escalate further.
And NFL protests continue to take place. Coming up next.
Oh, emojis! I thought the conversation just got dumber.
Ugh, internet trolls, just ignore them.
I like you just the way you are.
I believe in you!
She's a hugger. Give her a squeeze.
Help up the hand!
Ah, there you go. Thanks, mate.
You're killing it, Jane!
After
15 years of smoking, Eva Marie quit. There's a new lung cancer screening that could save her life. You stopped smoking. Now start screening. Learn more at savedbythescan.org.
Want to help in the aftermath of a hurricane? Together, you and I can really help. I am fast and versatile. I can be whatever is needed. To help you provide important relief when it's most critical. If you want to lend a hand, I can help you reach out and truly touch lives. Even a small donation can make a big difference.
After 15 years of smoking, Eva Marie quit. There's a new lung cancer screening that could save her life. You stopped smoking. Now start screening. Learn more at savedbythescan.org.
Tonight, along the Texas Gulf Coast, utter devastation. Harvey barreled ashore overnight, packing 130-mile-an-hour winds, blinding sheets of rain, and a treacherous storm surge.
Harvey can't mess with Texas. So donate now to help make Texas whole again.
President Donald Trump released his tax reform plan, and it includes getting rid of the estate tax. The estate tax is a tax on the money that a heir receives from a deceased loved one. Critics have said that the tax will only help the rich, while supporters have said that it will help small business owners as well. The current tax will tax estates of at least $5.5 million up to 11%.
President Donald Trump took to Twitter again. This time, Trump tweeted to his Secretary of State, Rex Tillerson, about negotiations with North Korea and their nuclear program. The president tweeted from his personal account, quote, "I told Rex Tillerson, our wonderful Secretary of State, that he is wasting his time trying to negotiate with Little Rocket Man," end quote. Trump refers to North Korean leader as the Little Rocket Man.
A Somali-born refugee was arrested in connection to a terrorist attack in Edmonton, in which 5 people were injured. An officer was working a Canadian Football League game when the suspect struck him with a car and then attacked him with a knife. Police say the suspect has been known for extremist ideology, and an Islamic State flag was found in the car. Thankfully, no victim is in serious condition.
2 young women ages 17 and 20 have been stabbed to death in Marseille, France. Both women were stabbed to death outside of a busy French train station. President Emmanuel Macron said he was disgusted by the barbarous act and paid tribute to the soldiers and the police officers who responded. The attack was claimed by the Islamic State extremist group ISIS. The actor who was shot dead by police on the scene. In response to President Donald Trump and police brutality around the country, athletes in multiple sports of all age levels are taking part in the protests. Reagan Check has more on the story.
Last week, Steelers head coach Mike Tomlin announced that the team would be staying in the locker room during the national anthem. U.S. Army veteran and Steelers lineman Alejandro Villanueva came out of the tunnel during the national anthem with his hand on his heart and singing.
President Donald Trump tweeted from his personal Twitter account, quote, "Very important that the NFL players stand tomorrow and always for the playing of our national anthem, respect our flag and our country," end quote. Steelers head coach Mike Tomlin said in a press conference following last week's game, quote, "We will not be divided by this. We've got a group of men in there that come from different socio-economic backgrounds, races, creeds, ethnicities, and religions, but because of our position, we get drug into." Fanatics, the company that manages the NFL's online store, reported that following last week's Steelers game in Chicago that Villanueva's jersey sales surpassed sports stars like Aaron Rodgers and Marshawn Lynch. to become one of the top-selling jerseys of all sports. In a recent rally in Alabama, President Trump said, quote, "Wouldn't you love to see one of these NFL owners, when somebody disrespects our flag, to say, 'Get that son of an expletive out of the field right now. Out. He's fired. He's fired.'" End quote. President Donald Trump tweeted, "But while in Dallas dropped to its knees as a team, they all stood for our national anthem. Big progress being made. We all love our country." He also tweeted, "The booing at the NFL football game last night, when the entire Dallas team dropped to its knees, was the loudest I have ever heard. Great anger." If a player wants the privilege of making millions of dollars in the NFL or other leagues, he or she should not be allowed to disrespect our great American flag or country, and should stand for the national anthem. If not, you're fired. Find something else to do. In addition to the Steelers' response to Trump's statements and police brutality, another Pittsburgh team is making the trip to the White House to visit Donald Trump. The Pittsburgh Penguins accepted the president's invitation following winning the Stanley Cup last year for the second season in a row.
Although protesting the national anthem started in football, it is now affecting other sports across the country and hitting here home in Pittsburgh. Reporting from Heinz Field, Reagan Check, RMU Century Media.
Logan, this is something that started out as political and media, but now it's not only just affecting professional sports, it's trickling down into college and high school sports. When is this going to go too far?
Well, I mean, it keeps spreading across. It's going to go too far eventually. And let me tell you about another protest that has gone a little bit too far. 761 people were injured in Catalan as police used force to try and block voting in Catalina's independence voting referendum. The vote was declared illegal and was planned to be stopped by the Spanish government. Protesters set up blocks for the polls to keep them open. The Spanish Interior Ministry said 3 people were arrested and 92 polling places were closed. 12 officers were also injured.
Hurricane Maria rocked Puerto Rico last week, and the country is now trying to put the pieces back together. The biggest problem for the United States territory is the lack of food, water, and medical supplies. Local authorities are expecting the death toll of currently 16 to continue to rise. Following the natural disaster, White House officials temporarily lifted the Jones Act, which prevented foreign countries from delivering goods to Puerto Rico. As organizations around the world are lending a helping hand to Puerto Rico, right here in Pittsburgh, groups are extending out to the people of Puerto Rico. The Roberto Clemente Museum was accepting donations to aid and relief efforts. The Pittsburgh Pirates are hosting a supply drive outside of PNC Park today and Tuesday from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. The Pirates are working hand in hand with FedEx to deliver important supplies to the people of Puerto Rico.
If you're interested in watching more RMU TV, be sure to check out our whole show lineup throughout the week.
When we come back, we recap the Pittsburgh Pirates regular season,
and we take a look at the weather for today and this upcoming week.
On November 3rd in Hopwood Auditorium, Robert Morris University, join me, Don Luisi, for Bringing the Blues to RMU. This is a live event featuring Pittsburgh's Queen of the Blues, Jill West, and Blues Attack. Along with a screening of Blues Chronicles from the Burgh, 3 short documentary profiles of Pittsburgh blues legends, Eugene Morgan, Bill Weiner, and Jill West. This tribute to the blues is sponsored by the Blues Society of Western Pennsylvania, the Academic Media Center, and RMU Radio. That's Bringing the Blues to RMU, Friday, November 3rd at 5 p.m., Hopwood Auditorium, Robert Morris University. Admission is free to the public.
Everything starts out small. The things that hurt us, they all start from somewhere. The words we say, the things we do, they can grow into something else. What was small and innocent can become big and sometimes scary. All it takes is one comment, one picture, one video for something to catch fire. But a big problem doesn't need a big response. Not at first.
There's a hope that's waiting for
Even if we don't know what to say, the eye emoji can be that first step we take. Let's all pledge to take that first small step together and change the world in a big way. I'm a witness, and so are you.
Don't ignore the subtext. It's on us to intervene in sexual assault. Because we can. Take the pledge at itsonus.org.
Welcome back to RMU-Live. Here's the latest updates in the world of sports. The Steelers took on the Ravens this past weekend in Baltimore. Both teams entered the game with a record of 2-1 and tied for first in the AFC North Division. The Steelers defeated the Ravens by a score of 26-9. Ben Roethlisberger just threw for 208 yards, but the running game added 173 yards on the ground. It was the first time this season that the Steelers rushed for more than 100 yards in a game. Steelers will return home to take on the Jaguars on Sunday at 1. The Pittsburgh Panthers took on Rice University at Heinz Field on Saturday. Former Robert Morris football coach and former Pitt quarterback Joe Walton was in attendance as the Panthers' honorary captain. The Panthers, you could say, boiled Rice by a score of 42-10, as quarterback Max Brown is statistically the best game of his career. The Panthers take on rival Syracuse on Saturday. Penn State Nittany Lion football team won their first Big Ten game of the year as they defeated Indiana by a score of 45-14. They remain undefeated with 5 wins and are still ranked number 4 in the country. The MLB playoff picture is set. The NL teams in order of seeds are as follows: the Los Angeles Dodgers, Washington Nationals, Chicago Cubs, Arizona Diamondbacks, and Colorado Rockies. As for the American League, the teams are the Cleveland Indians, Houston Astros, Boston Red Sox, New York Yankees, and Minnesota Twins. One team that is not going to the playoffs are your Pittsburgh Pirates. Gage has more on that.
The Pittsburgh Pirates wrapped up the 2017 Major League Baseball regular season here at PNC Park behind me last Wednesday with a final home victory over the Baltimore Orioles 5-3. Now the Pirates went on the road to finish off the regular season. They played in Washington yesterday.
The Pirates finished the regular season in style with a victory over the Nationals in Washington 11-8 thanks to a productive Buccos offense with 14 hits. Last week the Pittsburgh Pirates hosted the Baltimore Orioles for their final homestand of the 2017 Major League Baseball regular season. The Pirates came out on top in their final home game last Wednesday 5-3 over the Orioles. One of the biggest questions that fans have for the Pittsburgh Pirates organization is whether star center fielder Andrew McCutchen will be back on the team next year. Prior to the 2017 season, the Pirates organization negotiated in trade talks about the star center fielder McCutchen. If McCutchen stays with the Pirates, he will be entering the last year of his 6-year, $51.5 million contract. In 2018, McCutchen is expected to make $8.583 million, entering the last year of his contract.
And with a victory to cap out the 2017 season yesterday in Washington, the Pirates' final record is 75 wins with 87 losses on the year. Unfortunately, not good enough to make it to the National League playoffs. Reporting from the North Shore outside PNC Park, Gage Golding, RMU Century Media.
Gage, now the Pirates have a lot of problems to fix in what looks to be a busy offseason coming up. Wouldn't you agree?
I absolutely agree. And one thing that needs fixed, I'll tell you, whenever I walked out of the door this morning, this temperature, Morgan Nagel, can you tell me you have something better for me set up?
I actually do. If you went out this morning, you know the temperatures were at a shocking 38 degrees. But as the sun came out, it came to about 67 degrees with a high of 76 and a low of 50. And as for tomorrow, it will be spiking back up to an 80 degrees with a low of 52, with the humidity about 45%, which isn't too bad. And then for the rest of the week, the temperatures will be spiking pretty high and then low, with rain coming Friday and Saturday, and the low staying in about the 50s. Back to you, Gage and Logan.
What just happened?
When we come back from the break, we have the latest on O.J. Simpson.
And the Department of Justice just allocated money somewhere. We'll take more of that.
On November 3rd in Hopwood Auditorium, Robert Morris University, join me, Don Luisi, for Bringing the Blues to RMU. This is a live event featuring Pittsburgh's Queen of the Blues, Jill West, and Blues Attack. Along with a screening of Blues Chronicles from the Burgh, 3 short documentary profiles of Pittsburgh blues legends, Eugene Morgan, Bill Weiner, and Jill West. This tribute to the blues is sponsored by the Blues Society of Western Pennsylvania, the Academic Media Center, and RMU Radio. That's Bringing the Blues to RMU. Friday, November 3rd at 5 p.m., Hopwood Auditorium, Robert Morris University. Admission is free to the public.
Everything starts out small. The things that hurt us, they all start from somewhere. The words we say, the things we do, they can grow into something else. What was small and innocent can become big and sometimes scary. All it takes is one comment, one picture, one video for something to catch fire. But a big problem doesn't need a big response. Not at first. Even if we don't know what to say, the eye emoji can be that first step we take. Let's all pledge to take that first small step together and change the world in a big way. I'm a witness, and so are you.
Don't ignore the subtext. It's on us to intervene in sexual assault. Because we can. Take the pledge at itsonus.org.
The Department of Justice located money, almost $3 million to be exact, to Ohio's Southern Federal Court District to insert drug court programs as part of national initiative to stop, curb opioid abuse. Ohio Supreme Court will receive $1 million of this for data-supported responses to prescription drug misuse. The Justice Department was given $700,000 for a family drug court reform program. Franklin and Hamilton counties were each given $400,000 to use for opioid prevention programs.
Rock singer Marilyn Manson was struck by a piece of stage prop during a show at Hammerstein Ballroom in New York City. Manson reportedly laid on the stage for over 15 minutes before being taken off the stage into a local hospital. The condition of the performer is currently not known. Manson's guitarist Tyler Bates posted a photo on social media releasing that the tour would be postponed for an indefinite amount of time.
An Australian teenager died after being crushed from weightlifting equipment at a gym. 15-year-old Ben Shaw was attempting to bench press almost 220 pounds on Tuesday in Brisbane. He was found by staff and taken to the hospital where he died on Saturday. It is not known how long he was trapped under the weights. O.J. Simpson, the juice is loose. Former American football star was released on parole after 9 years in Nevada jail. Simpson was serving time for armed robbery, assault with a deadly weapon, and 10 other charges over a 2007 incident in a Las Vegas hotel. The 70-year-old will face restrictions including up to 5 years of parole supervision.
The U.S. Navy is investigating reports of a military jet that crashed near Tellico Plains, Tennessee on Sunday evening. It appears unlikely that the crew survived, the Navy told reporters. It was missing after taking off from a Naval Air Station Meridian in Mississippi with an instructor and student pilot inside. Monroe County Sheriff's Office stated that the crash happened near a fish hatchery in the Cherokee National Forest. That's all we have for RMU Live this afternoon.
We will see you next week.